High-ranking Democrat caught colluding with Russians. The media was releasing all the time false information that President Trump was colluding with Russia during the 2016 election, but they had no proof at all for their claim. From the other side, shouldn't something be said about the Democrats? Who are they and with who are they working with? According to Breitbart, Governor Jerry Brown, Democrat of California, is planning on flying to Vladivostok Sunday to attend Russian-sponsored event led by Russian President Vladimir Putin. Brown will be attending an economic cooperation conference. His plan is to promote a decarbonizing investment plan. As of right now, hydrocarbons are 70% of Russia's exports. This export also accounts for 50% of the country's revenue. Brown is going to represent the United States as a promoter of sustainable investments that will decarbonize the planet. In a nutshell, another way to tax the Americans up the wazoo again for nothing. It is unknown whether or not Brown will meet privately with Putin when the meeting commences on September 6th, but knowing the standards that the left seems to have when it comes to morals and ethics, it is hard to say. President Trump has been under fire from the Russian government for imposing sanctions on them in late July. It was a bipartisan decision because of the human rights violations going on in Russia. Another reason for the sanctions is the annexation of Crimea and Russia's aggressive behavior toward eastern Ukraine. This has been a mounting issue for years, in fact, since former President Barack Obama was in office. Brown's trip was announced mere days before the conference. This fact is leading people to believe that maybe President Trump and his administration were unaware of Brown going to Russia to speak on climate change. The fact that Brown is traveling overseas is nothing new, but it is suspicious that he would go to a conference in Russia where Vladimir Putin is overseeing and the head speaker. Most recently, Brown has traveled to Paris, Beijing, Quebec, and many others. All of his trips, including the one to Russia, is paid for by the California State Protocol Fund. Strangely, they also funded a $100,000 grant from the Rockefeller Brothers Foundation, After Brown spoke about his trip to Russia, the topic of money came up and it made many people uneasy. He has a plan for spending $1.5 billion from the extended cap-and-trade legislation. Brown's goal is to use $607.5 million for vehicles that are clean for the environment. That money could easily be used for the state in a much better way. California is deeply in debt, and using over $600 million for clean cars just seems to be a waste of resources, time, and energy. After he is done getting cleaner cars, Brown wants to use another $350 million to improve air quality in disadvantaged communities. Again, that money could probably be used for something better. This meeting with Russians, it seems to be very suspicious. It is obscure if the money he needs for these projects is fixing to the meeting. Yet, the planning beyond any doubt appears to be interesting. As this story unfolds, reality will be uncovered about Brown and his meeting on climate change, quote, in Russia. You know, their dams are in a disaster, right, in California. I mean, are you kidding me? They could be flooded out any time if something takes place there. I mean, really, this is what they want to do with that kind of money? That's why I'm saying we allow these corrupt individuals to take charge of the money. I mean, they're without any oversight. Excuse me? You know, this has to come to an end. I mean, this is like totally absurd. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. And again, thank you so much for watching.